In the vast emptiness of space, where silence reigns and stars burn with cold indifference, a small machine named Spirit embarked on a journey that would etch its name into the annals of human exploration. It was June 10th, 2003, when a rocket roared to life at Cape Canaveral, Florida, its flames tearing through the night sky, carrying a dream born from human curiosity and resilience. Spirit, a rover no larger than a golf cart, was not just a collection of metal and circuits. It was a vessel of hope, a mechanical pioneer sent to unravel the mysteries of Mars, a planet that has haunted our imaginations for centuries. Its mission was audacious: to search for signs of water, the cradle of life, on a world that seemed determined to keep its secrets buried beneath red dust and jagged rocks. Designed to survive just 90 Martian days or sols, Spirit defied every expectation, enduring for over 6 years, a testament to the unyielding spirit of discovery. As I tell you this story, imagine standing on the edge of a crimson crater, the wind whispering tales of a planet that might once have teemed with life. And let's follow Spirit's incredible odyssey, a tale of courage, survival, and the relentless pursuit of truth. The journey began with a leap into the unknown. Spirit's rocket pierced Earth's atmosphere, settling into a parking orbit before slingshotting toward Mars on a heliocentric path. The voyage was far from smooth. 4 course corrections were needed to guide the spacecraft through the void, a 487 million kilometer trek that lasted nearly 7 months. On January 4th, 2004, Spirit approached Mars, a speck of human ingenuity hurtling toward a world that could destroy it in an instant. The entry, descent, and landing, known as the 6 minutes of terror, was a heart-stopping ballet of engineering. Traveling at 19,000 kilometers per hour, Spirit's aeroshell plunged into the Martian atmosphere, its heat shield glowing at 1,600 degrees Celsius while protecting the rover within. A parachute deployed at Mach 2, slowing the descent, and retro rockets fired just seconds before impact, cushioning the fall. Encased in airbags, Spirit bounced across the Martian surface nearly 30 times, each impact a gamble against sharp rocks that could have torn it apart. When it finally rolled to a stop, 250 meters from its first bounce, Spirit had landed in Gusev Crater, a vast basin that might once have been a lake. The 6 minutes of terror were over, and Spirit was home, alone on a planet that felt both alien and achingly familiar. Gusev Crater was a landscape of stark beauty, its rolling hills and scattered rocks, framed against a butterscotch sky. Spirit unfolded its solar panels and began transmitting images back to Earth, using orbiting spacecraft like Mars Global Surveyor and 2001 Mars Odyssey as cosmic relays. The first images were breathtaking, the highest resolution color pictures ever taken on another planet, stitched together from black and white frames to reveal a world of rust-colored plains and distant hills named in memory of fallen astronauts. The Columbia Memorial Station, as Spirit's landing site was called, honored the crew of the Space Shuttle Columbia, a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of exploration. Among the first features Spirit captured was Sleepy Hollow, a shallow depression just 12 meters away, its smooth contours hinting at secrets buried beneath the surface. The rover's cameras panned across Anderson Hill, Brown Hill, and Husband Hill, each a potential clue in the quest to understand Mars' past. But Spirit was more than a photographer. It was a geologist, armed with a suite of tools, a rock abrasion tool, a microscopic imager, spectrometers, and magnets, designed to peel back the layers of Martian history. Its mission was clear: find evidence of water, the key to unlocking whether life ever existed on this desolate world. Yet the path was never easy. Just 17 sols into its mission, on January 21st, 2004, Spirit fell silent. NASA's Deep Space Network received only a faint beep, a cry for help from a machine millions of kilometers away. The team scrambled, their hearts pounding as they faced the possibility that their rover was lost. Spirit was in fault mode, its systems overwhelmed by a glitch in its sleep cycle that drained its battery and caused overheating. The rover was caught in a reboot loop, restarting endlessly as it tried to fix itself. Time was slipping away, and the Martian cold was unforgiving. Engineers sent commands to bypass the corrupted flash memory, a desperate move that could either save Spirit or doom it. Miraculously, it worked. By February 6th, Sol 32, Spirit was back online. Its systems stabilized after deleting unneeded files and reformatting its memory. The crisis had been averted, but it was a stark reminder of how fragile this mission was, how every moment on Mars was a battle against the odds. Spirit, named by a 9-year-old girl named Sophie Collis, who saw hope in the stars from a lonely orphanage, carried not just scientific instruments, but the dreams of a child who believed in new beginnings. With its systems restored, Spirit set out to explore, its wheels turning toward a rock called Adirondack, a flat, dust-free target perfect for its tools. Adirondack was no ordinary rock. It was a window into Mars' ancient past. Spirit's rock abrasion tool, a diamond dust-coated wheel spinning at 3,000 RPM, carved into the stone, exposing a fresh surface for analysis. The rover's spectrometers and microscopic imager revealed a composition of magnetite, olivine, and pyroxene, minerals that pointed to volcanic basalt, similar to rocks found on Earth. But there was something more: faint traces of water's touch, thin films that suggested this rock had once been altered by liquid. It was a tantalizing hint, a whisper of a wetter, warmer Mars that might have cradled life eons ago. Spirit's discovery was historic, the first time humanity had ground into the surface of another planet to uncover its secrets. From Adirondack, Spirit moved to Humphrey Rock, where its tools found bright minerals in crevices, crystallized from water. A louder echo of a planet that once flowed with rivers or lakes. Each rock was a story, each scrape a chapter in Mars' long-forgotten history. Spirit was no longer just a rover, it was a storyteller, weaving a narrative of a world that might have been. The journey grew more perilous as Spirit pressed on. By Sol 65, it reached Bonneville Crater, a 210-meter-wide scar where its discarded heat shield lay. But the crater held no compelling targets, so Spirit turned toward the Columbia Hills, a range glimpsed from its landing site. The path was fraught with danger. Lahontan Crater's sand dunes threatened to trap the rover's wheels, forcing careful navigation. By Sol 159, Spirit reached the foot of the Columbia Hills, but its body was showing signs of wear. The right front wheel began drawing excessive power, a sign of debris or congealed lubricant. Engineers adapted, driving Spirit backward to ease the strain, a clever improvisation that extended its life. The rover underwent a 3,000-meter tune-up, recalibrating its cameras and lubricating its wheels, even entering a deep sleep to conserve energy. A risky move that could have damaged its instruments but was necessary to survive the Martian winter. As Spirit climbed the hills, it studied rocks like Clovis and Ebenezer, each adding to the growing evidence of water's role in shaping Mars. The rover's resilience mirrored the human spirit it was named for, pushing forward despite the odds, driven by a curiosity that refused to fade. The Martian landscape stretched before Spirit like a canvas of ancient secrets, its red dunes and weathered rocks whispering tales of a world that once might have danced with water and life. By Sol 159, Spirit had reached the foot of the Columbia Hills, a rugged range that loomed like a challenge against the butterscotch sky. The rover, now a seasoned explorer, bore the scars of its journey, its right front wheel creaking under the strain of debris or congealed lubricant, demanding more power than its solar panels could easily spare. Yet the team at NASA, millions of kilometers away, refused to let their mechanical pioneer falter. They devised a daring solution: drive backward. It was a simple yet ingenious fix, dragging the struggling wheel across the Martian soil rather than pushing it, easing the burden on Spirit's aging systems. This was no mere machine, it was a symbol of human tenacity, a small rover carrying the weight of our collective dreams on its 6 wheels. As Spirit began its ascent into the hills, it was not just navigating terrain, it was climbing toward answers, each turn of its wheels a step closer to unraveling the mystery of Mars' lost waters. The Columbia Hills were a geologist's dream, a mosaic of rocks and outcrops that held clues to a planet's past. Spirit's tools, its rock abrasion tool, microscopic imager, and spectrometers, were ready to interrogate the landscape. On Sol 174, The rover underwent a critical 3,000-meter tune-up, a meticulous recalibration of its hazard avoidance cameras and wheel diagnostics to prepare for the treacherous climb. The team even risked a deep sleep mode, powering down Spirit's survival heaters to conserve energy, a gamble that could have silenced its instruments forever. But the rover awoke, its solar panels tilted toward the weak Martian sun, soaking up every ray to fuel its mission. As it climbed, Spirit studied rocks like Clovis, Ebenezer, and Lutefisk, each a time capsule etched with the faint fingerprints of water. Clovis, with its weathered surface, hinted at mineral alterations that could only have formed in a wetter era. Ebenezer's cracks whispered of ancient streams. Every grind of the rock abrasion tool, spinning at 3,000 RPM with its diamond dust wheel, peeled back layers of history, revealing minerals like pyroxene and olivine that echoed Earth's volcanic rocks, but carried the subtle scars of water's touch. By Sol 344, Spirit's journey took it to the slopes of Husband Hill, a towering feature 107 meters above the Gussif Plains. The climb was grueling, the soft, dusty slopes threatening to bog down the rover's wheels. Dust storms swirled in the distance, coating Spirit's solar panels and dimming the sunlight that powered its heart. The team navigated with precision, plotting intricate maneuvers to avoid traps in the terrain. On Sol 413, from a vantage point called Larry's Lookout on Cumberland Ridge, Spirit captured a breathtaking panorama. 108 frames stitched together to reveal the vastness of Gussif Crater, the Cumberland Ridge's rocky outcrops, and the distant Tennessee Valley. The rover's tracks snaked behind it, a testament to its lonely journey across an alien world. But then, on Sol 413, a stroke of luck changed everything. A Martian dust devil, a swirling vortex of wind, swept over Spirit, scouring a year's worth of dust from its solar panels. The rover's power surged from a sluggish 60% to a vibrant 93%, a gift from Mars itself that breathed new life into the mission. With renewed energy, Spirit pressed on, its sights set on the summit of Husband Hill. The ascent was a test of endurance, but Spirit was relentless. It analyzed rocks like Peace and Alligator, each offering more evidence of water's ancient presence. At Paso Robles, an unexpected churn of the rover's wheels uncovered a stunning find: soil rich in salt and phosphorus, a chemical signature that screamed of water's influence. The discovery was a moment of awe, a reminder that Mars, beneath its barren surface, held secrets waiting to be stumbled upon. Spirit's team marveled at the find, their voices crackling with excitement across the void to mission control. Water had a hand here, they said, and with those words, the dream of a life-friendly Mars felt closer than ever. The rover pushed forward, its backward-driving strategy easing the strain on its failing wheel. On Sol 581, Spirit reached the summit of Husband Hill, a triumph that felt like standing on the edge of the universe. It captured a 360-degree panorama, 653 images woven together to show the rover's deck, its clean solar panels gleaming under the Martian sun, and the distant peaks of McCool and Ramon Hills. At night, Spirit turned its gaze skyward, photographing Mars' moons, Phobos and Deimos, to refine their orbits, a quiet moment of cosmic connection. From the summit, Spirit's mission grew bolder. It collaborated with the Hubble Space Telescope, calibrating atmospheric data to sharpen its own measurements. Software updates beamed from Earth gave the rover new autonomy, allowing it to decide when to upload images or extend its arm to probe rocks. This was Spirit maturing, a machine gaining a spark of independence 142 million kilometers from home. On Sol 690, it analyzed a rock called Comanche, a treasure trove of magnesium iron carbonates, 10 times higher than any rock previously studied. These carbonates, formed in neutral water, suggested a Mars that once held hospitable lakes, perhaps even cradles for primitive life. The discovery sent ripples through the scientific community, a beacon of hope that the red planet's past was not as barren as its present. Spirit's wheels, though battered, carried it onward to home plate, a layered, weathered formation that looked sculpted by flowing water. The rover's images of these rocks were haunting, their shapes evoking rivers that had long since vanished into the Martian dust. But time, the cruelest force of all, was closing in. By March 2006, as Spirit charged toward McCool Hill to hunker down for the Martian winter, its right front wheel failed completely. Tests at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory couldn't revive it, and Spirit was left dragging the locked wheel, each movement a struggle against the planet's unforgiving terrain. The rover's power dwindled as dust storms darkened the skies, and NASA made a heartbreaking call: abandon McCool Hill for Low Ridge Haven, a modest incline where Spirit could tilt its panels toward the sun. For 8 months, the rover sat still, its cameras capturing the desolate beauty of its surroundings. Among the images were 2 possible iron meteorites named Zhongshan and Allen Hills, echoes of Mars' violent past. One, Allen Hills, recalled a Martian meteorite found on Earth in 1996, sparking debates about fossilized life. As Spirit waited out the winter, its silence was a quiet defiance, a refusal to surrender to the cold. The rover had already outlived its 90-Sol mission by years, but its greatest discoveries and its final challenges still lay ahead, waiting in the shadows of home plate. As Spirit lingered on Low Ridge Haven, the Martian winter cloaked the landscape in a quiet, biting cold, the kind that seeps into metal and dreams alike. For 8 months, the rover stood still, its solar panels tilted toward a sun that barely pierced the dust-laden sky. Yet even in this frozen solitude, Spirit's cameras kept watch, capturing images of possible iron meteorites, Zhongshan and Allen Hills, silent relics of a violent cosmic past. These moments of stillness were not surrender, but resilience, a machine holding fast against a planet that seemed to conspire against it. By March 2007, the winter's grip loosened, and Spirit's panels soaked up enough sunlight to stir it back to life. The rover's wheels, once still locked and dragging, churned through the red soil once more, heading toward home plate, a geological wonder of layered rocks that whispered of ancient rivers. But it was here, in this place of promise, that Spirit would uncover one of its most profound discoveries. Not through triumph, but through failure. The rover's broken wheel gouged the Martian surface, exposing a hidden treasure, bright white silica, a mineral born in environments where life could thrive. It was a fleeting glimpse of a Mars that might have nurtured microbial life, a discovery that made the heart race and the mind wonder what other secrets lay just beneath the dust. The silica find was a revelation, stumbled upon by chance as Spirit's failing wheel carved through the soil near home plate. NASA's scientists were electrified. Silica forms in hot springs or acidic steam vents, both cradles for life on Earth. If Spirit's wheel had not broken, if the rover had not pressed on through its own frailties, this clue to Mars's habitable past might have remained buried. The discovery was a testament to the rover's tenacity, a reminder that sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come from the cracks in our plans. Spirit circled home plate, its instruments probing the layered rocks that seemed sculpted by flowing water, their weathered edges evoking a time when Mars might have been a world of rivers and lakes. In June 2007, another Martian dust devil swept over the rover, clearing its panels and boosting its power from a feeble 120 watt-hours to over 600. It was as if Mars itself was granting Spirit a reprieve, a chance to keep telling its story. On November 6th, the rover captured a panorama from the western edge of home plate, a breathtaking view later named Astronomy Picture of the Day. Hidden in that image was a shape that sparked global intrigue, a rock formation dubbed Little Bigfoot, resembling a humanoid figure. It was a fleeting moment of wonder, a reminder that Mars could still surprise us, stirring imaginations with the possibility of something more. But the Martian storms were growing fiercer, their dust clouds choking the sunlight and coating Spirit's panels. By late 2007, the rover's power dwindled to a mere 128 watt-hours, below the 150 needed to keep its heaters running. The cold was closing in, and with it, the specter of failure. 2 small cleaning events briefly lifted Spirit's energy to 372 watt-hours, enough to charge its batteries an inch forward. Yet the rover's memory began to falter, gaps appearing in its data like forgotten dreams. On Sol 1892, April 2009, Spirit's wheels sank into a patch of soft, powdery soil at a place called Troy, a deceptive trap of iron sulfate minerals known as jarosite. The rover fought to free itself, its 5 working wheels spinning against the unforgiving ground. But the sand held fast. NASA's engineers, hearts heavy, ran exhaustive tests back on Earth. But no strategy could free Spirit. On Sol 2155, the mission was reclassified as a stationary research platform. Trapped but not defeated, Spirit turned its instruments to the sky and soil, studying the atmosphere and conducting soil experiments with its still functional arm. Each measurement was a quiet act of defiance, a refusal to let the mission end in silence. The final winter was merciless. By Sol 2196, Spirit's power dropped to the critical 150 watt-hours, and sometime around Sol 2208, it likely suffered a low-power fault. The rover's heaters, vital for protecting its electronics, could no longer fend off the Martian cold. On a planet where no human could mourn it, Spirit faced its end alone, its last signals fading into the cosmic void. No dramatic crash, no fiery explosion, just a quiet stillness as the rover froze under a star-filled sky. Its mission complete after 2,088 sols and 7.7 kilometers of exploration. Spirit had sent back over 128,000 images, each a love letter from a distant world, revealing a Mars shaped by water and time. Its discoveries, Adirondacks basalt, Humphrey's water-altered crevices, Comanche's carbonates, and Troy's silica, painted a picture of a planet that might once have been a cradle for life. The rover's legacy was not just in the data it gathered, but in the story it told, one of overcoming impossible odds, of finding hope in the face of desolation. Spirit's name, chosen by a young girl named Sophie Collis, was a beacon of that hope. Her words, born from a childhood of darkness and dreams, had christened a machine that carried humanity's aspirations to the stars. It was dark and cold and lonely. At night, I looked up at the sparkly sky and felt better. I dreamed I could fly there. As Spirit's heaters shut off, as it stood frozen at the edge of home plate, it seemed to echo Sophie's story, finding solace in the Martian sky. Its name lives on in Asteroid 27452 Spirit and in the Perseverance rover, which carries a family portrait of Mars explorers, a tribute to the machines that paved the way. Spirit's journey was a mirror to our own, a tale of resilience, of pushing beyond our limits to touch the unknown. It reminds us that exploration is not just about finding answers, but about daring to ask questions, about carrying the spark of curiosity into the darkest corners of the universe. And as we look to the stars, dreaming of the day we'll walk on Mars ourselves, Spirit's final images linger in our hearts, a testament to what we can achieve when we refuse to give up.